Give us a little preview, just a little preview. What can we look forward to if we're gonna, as guys, come to this conference and get to hear from you?
It's actually really funny because we didn't talk about this before we started recording, but the stuff I'm teaching it's about this. It's about trajectory. So
Uh,
it's about being I'm using the life of Peter, and Peter's a guy who is not the same guy at the end of the story that he was at the beginning of the story. Peter is a guy who, in fact, you can see evidence of lessons he learned later in his life and in his writing, and then you can go back and be like, "Oh, he learned that right here." You can see where he learned it. He learned that lesson here, and he became a different guy through this interaction with Jesus, and then you see it reflected in the way he mentors other people or the way he disciples or the way he shapes the early church, like, so my I can't wait to be there, but my messages are centered around the life of Peter, and they really are sort of giving the perspective of, like, um, it's okay to be holding your plans loosely and trusting that God's plan is better, and that where you'll be at the end of this journey is better than where you start, but that might require some, some tangles and some rough patches and some pain along the way. That's certainly true for him, and I actually think the teaching's gonna be really fun, so.
I'm really excited about that. Darin, men's conference. This is boy. Uh, I've hosted a number of men's conferences over the years, especially up at Hume, and there is a perception when you go to men's conference that it's going to be a bunch of guys going grunting, eating a lot of meat, and being tough, and they have to go out in the wilderness and kill a bear. I don't know.
Right.
Um, Tell me about your approach uh,
Yeah.
as
Well, yeah, it's funny because I'm that isn't exactly my vibe, so I'm not necessarily a bang the drum and put on the war paint kind of a men's retreat guy. I'm into, music and art and that sort of thing. But I think my approach is to say I think there are universal things that men are dealing with and universal things that followers of Jesus are dealing with. And so I think to have guys um, together in a space, I think one of the hardest things for dudes is the ability to be vulnerable. So even as we were talking earlier about like admitting my own fallibility, our culture and even Christian culture doesn't give dudes a lot of accolade for saying you make mistakes. And we tend to applaud people who show confidence and show like they've got it all together and that, whatever. And I think we live with sort of the duality of I know I don't have it all together, but I'm forced to sort of pretend like I do. And I'm not saying everybody at the men's retreat will be able to take that mask off, but I do think the nice thing about being in a men's retreat is there's maybe a little less to prove, and you're in a space with guys who are dealing with the same things you're dealing with for the most part. So the invitation to go, "Hey, can we just shoot straight with each other and deal with the fact that, like, we're figuring it out. We're doing our best, most of the time, but we're figuring it out as we go. And are there some tools and strategies and tips and things we can do to help us be tighter together, to be more connected to one another? We're not meant to walk the path by ourselves, So what does building community look like? That's not just for the sake of the weekend, but that's for the sake of then these guys going back to their churches, and having the opportunity to walk together, in the long run. But my approach is, I mean, my teaching is a little bit silly, but hopefully kind of insightful, and it'll be fun. So
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. And so,
it's
if you're watching along, you're interested in joining us, men's conference, Men in His Design, coming up May 2nd through 4th. That's Friday through a Sunday. And if you're a part of Sunrise, just go to sunrise.church/men, and you will be able to sign up.
perfect.
If you want to check out Darin, you can hear some of Darin's preaching. Go to Fullerton Free Church. What is that?
Just fullertonfree.com, I think.
Yeah, fullertonfree.com.
Yeah, all the
So,
mess we're teaching through Acts right now. We actually taught through First Peter in the spring. So no, not the spring, in the fall. Sorry, seasons,
okay,
times,
it's all
math.
good.